Okay, we shall continue with our discussion on the perspectives of curriculum development. And we are now on the question, when does curriculum planning occur? So we've already mentioned one, that's when professional committees reach decisions whether to add or remove instructional programs. And we had an example for that, like during the time that when they were still deciding whether to remove Filipino from the list of courses to be taken in college, and it was decided already that Filipino should be retained. Okay. Now we have the second one. Curriculum planning occurs when school faculties plan to fit new programs into existing ones. So, for example, in this current situation where our education system is amid the global health crisis, there are new programs that our authorities, the higher authorities, are proposing in order for us to adjust the way we deliver instruction. So this is what we mean. That's curriculum planning. They plan on how to fit the curriculum into the current situation. Okay, meaning education should still happen. And if they want education to happen, there should be plans. Okay, they should plan on the necessary adjustments they have to make. So that's the second one. Another, curriculum planning occurs when teachers work together and individually to arrange specific learning situations for the learners they teach. So it could be collaborative when you are doing collaborative work with your peers, with your teachers, with your fellow teachers. That's curriculum planning. Like you talk about the subjects, the content of which you're going to teach, the activities for the entire school year. That is curriculum planning. So when you do faculty meeting and talking about the activities of the school, the activities to be given to the learners, that's curriculum planning. Now, individually, like when you write your plan, okay, when you devise your lesson plan, that is still curriculum planning. Now we move to defining the following terms. These important terms that are relevant to curriculum development. And of course, it's very important that you need to be aware of these terms and of course their meaning. So let's have number one, curriculum laboratory. So what is a curriculum laboratory? It says here that it is a place, okay, or workshop where curriculum materials are gathered or used. So in some universities, okay, colleges, they have a separate curriculum laboratory aside from the library. So what are the things or materials contained here? Everything about the curriculum, okay? Usually if the university or the college is offering education courses, definitely they have this curriculum laboratory. So that is where you would source materials about curriculum, the curriculum of the school, the curriculum that exists in a particular community, or the curriculum that is being used in the entire nation. Okay. Sometimes this curriculum laboratory, okay, it's a place, either a room, okay, in which those materials are gathered. Sometimes they also conduct workshops, okay, for usually for aspiring teachers in this curriculum laboratory. So they conduct lectures, they conduct workshops in order to hone this aspiring teachers. Okay. And in some schools, if they don't have a separate curriculum laboratory, you would see some curriculum materials inside the library. Kaya naman sa loob na mismo ng library, nandun na rin yung curriculum laboratory. So that's where you could find curriculum guide, that's where you could find lesson plan, that's where you could find resources which you could use when you design your curriculum plan. Okay, next, resource unit. What do we mean by a resource unit? So on your screen, it says it is a collection of suggested learning activities and materials organized around a given topic, which a teacher might utilize in planning, developing, and evaluating. Now, what are the parts of a resource unit? So A, we have the introduction. Second, we have the objectives. Okay. Third, we have the content of the unit. Okay. Letter D, the unit activities. Letter E, evaluation. And last is bibliography, or otherwise known as the list of references you use in deciding for the content of your plan. Now, obviously, since we are talking about curriculum, you would see the different elements of the curriculum here. Like for the objectives, okay, the subject matter, which is the content of the unit, and the unit activities, which refers to the procedure, and of course the evaluation. So this resource unit could serve as a material for teachers to source on the activities, for teachers to have options, okay, on the activities which they are going to provide into their class. So this resource unit will provide different types of activities, different types, either performance tasks, either written. Okay, it will give suggestions, okay, to teachers and how she could handle or she could conduct a session under a particular topic. So we have an example here, okay, on your link. Okay, so just search on this link. Okay, it's below the slide presentation. So if you would like to know more about resource unit, just look for this link, search for this link below. Okay, I provided the link below. Okay, next. We are now on the comparison between the essentialist view versus the progressive view. So I've heard, okay, I've read in your answers last time using the Neo-LMS, okay, that you consider essentialist view as the strict one, the rigid one, and progressive view as the more flexible view of curriculum. So we already mentioned that essentialist view is the conventional view, while the progressive view refers to the modern view. So let's now have a comparison, a deeper understanding of essentialism and progressivism. So if you are using the essentialist school, okay, that's an essentialist view about curriculum, then you see curriculum as rigid, okay? Why rigid? Because we have discipline subjects. And when you say discipline subjects, you follow, okay? The learners need to take all of these subjects, okay? So well, they don't have options. Unlike at present, okay, under progressive view, it's learner-centered. That's why in college, okay, I mean in senior high school and junior high school, they have the option to choose which specialization they would like to take. Unlike before, whatever the school would dictate, whatever the curriculum would dictate, that's what you are going to take. Okay, that's why it's rigid. Unlike for progressive school, it's flexible. Okay, learners are viewed the same under the essentialist school, and that's given because you think they have common needs, you apply the same strategy. It's not individualized. While for progressive view, you believe that no two persons are alike. That's why you apply individualized approach. You approach learning based on the individual needs of your learners. Okay. Next, for essentialist school, it aims to fit learner to existing social order, thereby maintain status. So status quo lang. Because what you are teaching, what you are relaying, are things that are in the society. So you do not ask your learners to innovate. So it's more of cultural transferring. Okay, you relay the culture from the past, okay, from the existing culture that you are in, and therefore, if that's the case, you just maintain what is in the society. Unlike on progressive school, the teachers stimulate direct learning process for most effective individual instruction of learning. Again, the word is stimulate, direct learning process. It's not imposing. It's not spoon feeding. You activate by means of providing activities. Okay, you do not impose. You do not for essentialist school, like what we have mentioned, there's no freedom when it comes to doing activities. Okay, whatever the teacher says, that's what you are going to do. But under progressive school, the teacher would give freedom during the process, okay, like on how the learner would like to solve a problem. Baka may sarili siyang technique na naisip. So the teacher will let the learners explore first. Okay, in this way, you are giving a space for innovation, a space for critical thinking. Okay? In that way, maraming na-discover na mga bagay-bagay. And that's what we are in at present, innovation, discovery. Okay? And we do not maintain existing social order. We add more, we modify based on the existing needs of the society. That's the view of progressive school. Okay, but again, I would like to emphasize this doesn't mean that essentially school is not good. Okay, at during those times, okay, this is dominant because this is this was the most fit view of curriculum. At obvious naman yan kasi ang mga lolo at lola natin, okay, the senior citizens, talaga naman when it comes to education, you would see magagaling. Okay, they are really experts. So this type of view fit, okay, the learning needs of those people. But at present time, because of changes in society, we need to adopt and to adjust our view. But I repeat, essentialist school still exists at present. Okay. Okay, another comparison. For essentialist school, freedom is an outcome of education and not the means. Like if you have learned everything, if you have learned from school after graduating, then you're free. You're free, meaning you can explore the world. You are ready for real life. Yun ang sinasabi ng essentialist school. Then you become free because you are ready. Unlike in progressive school, okay, it's the other way around. Freedom is not only an outcome, but it comes even at the beginning and during the process. Why? Because you give freedom to your learners while they are doing the tasks. That's already freedom. So sabi ng progressive view, education is freedom itself. Okay, it's not an outcome. It's not only an outcome of education. Education itself is freedom because we need to give them freedom, again, for individual spontaneity and problem solving and development of creative responsibility. You let them explore. Yeah, you give them this what we call educational freedom, academic freedom. Next, for essentialist school, it's authoritative. Okay, meaning the teacher is dominant. Okay, the teacher is the star. It's the teacher is in control. But in progressive school, no. Okay, you give them control on the ways, okay, in which they would like to learn. Okay, that's progressive school. For essentialist school, teachers assign lessons and recite lectures. So more on memorization, more on memory work. Okay, but for progressive school, it uses a life experience approach, like your examples. Okay, the way you deliver your lesson, you relate it to real life. That if you are teaching addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, okay, saan nila gagamitin yan sa totoong buhay? That will be your example. Okay, those real life experiences like going to the market. Okay, you need to count your money, your change. You need to add. Okay, ganun ang mga example dyan. If you have 1 kilo cabbage, okay, amounting to 70 pesos. And 1 kilo of carrots amounting to, let's say, for instance, 60 pesos. O, hindi natin alam yung mga price value ngayon sa market, no? Nang hula lang tayo. Okay, so how much are you going to pay to the vendor? Okay, to the seller. So it's a real life example now. Hindi lang yung 1 plus 1, 2. 2 plus 2, 4. Okay? It's not related. It's not being related to how you're going to use it in real life. Okay? So still on the comparison between essentialist school and progressive school. Essentialist school, it's book-centered. Okay? Subject-centered. You focus on the book. Okay? The book is in control. The teacher is in control. Yung book ang masusunod. Like if you're going to teach, you look at the book. Nasaan na ako? Hindi yung, if you're going under progressive school, baligtad. If you're going to teach, nasaan na yung mga bata? Nasaan na sila? Anong part na sila? Ano na yung kaya nila? Those are your questions, okay? That's why under progressive school, we have this what we call constant revision of aims and experimental techniques of learning and teaching because you fit the curriculum based on the needs of the learner. And why do you revise? Because we believe under progressive school that needs and interests change from time to time, depending on the generation, depending on the society, depending on your learner, okay? For essentialist school, again, memory work, okay, mastery of facts, okay, development of abstract intelligence. Okay, but under progressive school, it's not only about abstract intelligence. Okay, dyan na pumapasok yung theory ni Howard Gardner that is multiple intelligences. That intelligence is not only something that is in the mind. It could be kinesthetic. Okay, it could be musical. It could be a lot. Okay, it could be spatial. Okay, for essentially school, we ignore completely social relations and life activities. So lahat individual work, paper pen test, paper pen test. Okay, they focus on that, standardized tests. Okay, but under progressive school, no. In terms of measuring the performance of your learners, may performance task na. Okay, meron ng paper pen test, meron ng outcome-based, like they need to produce the output. Okay, that will be a form of assessment, which is actually true at this point. Kasi nga naman, kung itetest mo, if you're going to measure kung natuto bang magluto yung bata, natutunan ba niya yung procedure, dito sa essentially school, what they are going to do is just to list down the procedure, isusulat lang. But under progressive school, they will demonstrate it. They have to demonstrate it. The learners have to demonstrate how to do. Okay, how to accomplish the step-by-step procedure in cooking a dish. Okay, so again, standard test on subject as form of evaluation for essentially school. So when say standard test, paper pen test, at lahat sila, kaya nga standard, lahat sila pare-pareho ng type of test. Kung ano yung kukunin ni learner letter A, ganun din yung test ni learner letter B. But for progressive school, ayan, like what we have mentioned, it's flexible. It's not only about paper pen test. It's sometimes it's not standardized. Okay, iba yung measurement mo para sa topic na to, iba yung type of measurement mo para sa topic na to, para sa klase na to, para sa klase na yan. So depending on their, I repeat, abilities, depending on their interests, depending on their personality values. And again, in consideration of the subject matter. Na kapag kailangan ng actual ng psychomotor, okay, like they need to move in order to prove that they have learned something, yun ang papagawa mo. So like if you are teaching basketball as sports, of course, how would you know if they have learned basketball? Paper pen test. No. Okay, to know if they gain the skill, let them play basketball after teaching the concepts. Okay, we move now to the theoretical emphasis and curriculum development. So what are these theoretical emphasis? Okay, first, emphasis. Curricular emphasis on the subject matter. Okay, for the mind. Saan to nanggagaling? It is from the belief that by seeing idea, learners develop a finite personality and absolute stuff. So focus is on the subject matter. That's your emphasis. You stress on the subject matter because you believe that when they see the subject matter, when they understand the subject matter, when they gain comprehension on the topic, then it changes something into their mind, okay, into their personality. And you believe that if they are able to gain this topic, an understanding of this topic, they will be able to reach their absolute self. Na kung marirealize nila kung ano sila. Okay? That's number one curricular emphasis. So pag etong emphasis mo, anong ginagawa mo? It's like essentialist view. Okay? You focus on, you improve the topic which you are going to teach. You decide on the topic, the content which you are going to teach. Yun yung focus mo, the subject matter. Okay? Ang tanong mo lagi ay, anong tuturo ko? Okay? Anong mga topic na kailangan ituro ko, na ituturo ko? That's curricular emphasis on the subject matter. Next, if our emphasis is on this one, the observable fact, from the belief that mind is receptacle to be filled with knowledge, stored for later use. Observable fact. Okay, similar to behaviorism. Like if they have learning here, okay, they have the knowledge in here. Sabi nga dyan, mind is a receptacle to be filled with knowledge. Okay, it's stored here. They are going to use it. Okay, they are going to manifest it. Okay, so emphasis, if this one is your emphasis, ang gagawin mo is that you let your learners manifest what they have learned. So you provide activities in which they could showcase, demonstrate learning. Okay, so that's the second emphasis. So I would like to emphasize, since we're talking about emphasis, stress at this point, na yung mga emphasis na yan, you could use them as guide when designing your plan. Pwede mong paghalo-haluin yan. Hindi naman porket yung emphasis mo is about the subject matter, yun na lang gagamitin mo. No, you could combine all of this emphasis, okay, in order to come up with something that is appropriate, okay, and feasible to your learners. Okay, next emphasis. Curricular emphasis is the school which defends its purpose through tenets of scholasticism, from the belief that the rational nature of man provides a measure of what is good and what is bad. Okay, it's this one is very obvious on the mission and vision statement of every education institution. So you would see that every school, they have their own mission vision statement. Okay, but for just public schools, of course, we only have one mission vision statement. Okay, kung ano yung mission vision statement ng DepEd, okay, pare-pareho kami. Okay, but for private schools, they develop their own mission vision statement, and this mission vision statement should reflect on the plans of the school, on the plans of the teacher. Like for MQC, it's about values formation. That's why in their curriculum, in your curriculum, you have theology courses. Okay, it's a way to realize the purpose of the school. Kasi yun yung tinarget nila in their mission vision statement. So it should transpire, it should be mirrored on the curriculum they are offering. Okay, that's the reason why you have theology classes. Okay, sa ibang school, pwede rin sila magdagdag ng ibang subject, depende dun sa purpose na nilagay nila. Okay, so from the belief, I repeat, that the rational nature of man provides a measure for what is good and what is bad. So if you already gained the knowledge, if you already have the understanding of the world, okay, which your school, which the curriculum has taught you, then they believe that you will be able to decipher which one is good, which one is not. Okay, next emphasis, we have the curricular emphasis on experience process. Okay, ito naman yung experience ang in-emphasize mo. Like, if you devise a plan, gusto mo mag-focus sa experience, okay? Okay, what you are going to do is provide an environment in which the learner will gain the experience. Okay, so it assumes both an organism and an environment in continual interaction. So pumapasok ulit dito yung theory ng behaviorism, pumapasok ulit dito yung theory ng progressivism, because it's experience process. You let them do the activity, okay? And then of course the social constructivism, because it's continual interaction, okay? Social interaction, okay? So in here, your focus would be to provide the environment, okay, to provide the activities, and let the child, okay, the learner, okay, labeled here as the organism, to respond, okay, to experience what you are providing. Okay, next emphasis, curricular emphasis on existing choice. Learners here make decisions. Again, existentialism, the theory on existentialism. Okay, if you still remember that. So for existentialism, diba, you give learners the freedom to choose, okay, what they want to learn, how they want to learn, okay? It's not imposing your position as teacher on how you would like to teach. It's asking how they would like to learn, okay? Learners here make decisions. Learner works with problems to learn about himself. So your goal here, pag etong emphasis mo, ang mga activities na bibigay mo would be activities that will make your learners discover their potential, discover their skills, discover about themselves. That's what you are going to provide. That's why learning, if this is your emphasis, okay, learning here is self-paced. Okay? It's kasama mo sa pagdedesisyon yung mga mag-aaral. Hindi lang ikaw. Like, setting of deadlines, ayan. Kung kailan nila kaya, kailan ba kaya. You will have an agreement, okay? Okay. The next subtopic will be about the philosophical foundations and curriculum. So some of you already know about this philosophical foundations, because this philosophies, education philosophies, were already taken in other subjects like the teaching profession, if you have taken the subject of teaching profession. But still, as part of our session in this course, we need to touch, to review, to refresh you about this education philosophies. Okay, you know perennialism, you are familiar with essentialism, progressivism, and reconstructionism. So under perennialism, your aim, okay, your aim is to educate the rational person and to cultivate the intellect. So it's about honing of the mind, okay, which is similar to essentialism. But in here, it's more of abstract reasoning or perennialism. Okay, abstract intelligence. The focus is on abstract intelligence. Okay, rational person making the learner rational in terms of making decisions about life. Okay, very philosophical. Dito nakikita natin yung mga um, schools before. Okay, just like in most Korean dramas, yung conventional school nila na kung saan yung ang dami pagkalaki-laking libro, and it's all they talk about philosophy. Okay? They talk about different philosophies and principles. Na pag binuksan mo yung libro, they speak about uh, the principles of the great thinkers. Great thinkers, okay? Under essentialism, to promote, the goal is to promote intellectual growth of individual and educate a competent person. So teaching of the basic, okay? Teaching what is essential, what is existing in the society, because you believe that when you teach what is essential at the moment, you make them survive, okay, life. Progressivism, ito naman, ang emphasis is promotion of democratic and social living. So democratic because you give them freedom to work, and social living because there will be interaction. Okay, they will interact with each other. Okay, next for Reconstructionism, this is another philosophy, and your goal, your emphasis here is to improve, okay, to improve and to reconstruct society since education is for change. Kaya naman ang pinipresent mo dito under Reconstructionism are social issues. Okay, existing social issues, and then you let your learners decipher, analyze the issue, and then provide possible solutions. And then from then on, anong ginagawa mo? You believe that in the future, if these people will become the leaders, they know how to solve the problem. And if they know how to solve the problem, therefore, you are reconstructing the society. May ginagawa kang pagbabago. Okay? You are making change in the society through your learners. You begin with your learners. Hindi siya yung direct na babaguhin ko ang mundo. No. Okay? I will change the world through my learners. And again, change for the better is always the focus of Reconstructionism. Okay. The role of education. Okay, under these four philosophies. For perennialism, teacher help students think with reason based on Socratic method. Okay, Q&A, inquiry-based. Okay, of oral exposition or recitation, and explicit or deliberate teaching of traditional values. Again, traditional values. So again, like what we have mentioned, perennialism, it's about knowing what is right, knowing what is bad. It's about morality. That's why we have values formation under perennialism as its emphasis. Okay, Socratic method, pag sinabing Socratic method, it's question and answer method. Like the teacher would ask question, then the learner will answer. Or the learner will ask question, the teacher would answer. Inquiry-based instruction. Essentialism, the teacher is the sole authority in his subject area. So nabanggit na natin kanina yan. Okay, ikaw yung bida. You're the, ikaw lahat. Okay, ikaw ang masusunod. You are in control. Okay, you are in command. For progressivism, knowledge here leads to growth and development of lifelong learners who actively learn by doing. So emphasis on learning by doing. Give them the experience, let them do it, then they would learn. And then you achieve growth and development. And then when we say lifelong learners, because what you provide, okay, the environment that you provide is an imitation of real life or real life itself. Next, for Reconstructionism, teachers act as agents of change. Of course, you are reconstructing the society, so you act as agents of change. So pag pala tinawag mo na, na agent of change ang sarili mo, that's your view, ang pina-follow mo pala ang philosophy is Reconstructionism. And reform in values educational projects, including research. So this one is research-based because you want reform, you want a transformation. And how to do transformation? You research, okay? Because on research, we discover a lot, okay? And through discovery, we lead ourselves into innovation, okay? Okay, the curriculum trends. Under perennialism, you use great books, okay, and focus on liberal arts. I repeat, you are honing the rational person. That's why emphasis on great books, those books which teach values, teach about morality, which teach about philosophy. Okay. While for essentialism, excellence in education, okay, back to basics and cultural literacy. Cultural literacy. Back to basics. Basics, that's why it's essentialism. Kung ano lang yung kailangan, okay, the basic skills that you need in order to survive, yun ay ituturo. Okay, what is essential? Okay, that's what they're going to teach. Okay, for cultural literacy, like what we have mentioned, it's about cultural transmission. So thereby, you just retain existing social order. Under progressivism, we have school reforms, okay? Relevant and contextualized curriculum and humanistic situation. Okay? Why do we have this trends? Because this is learner-centered. You always make reforms, revision on your curriculum based on the needs of your learners. Okay? It's contextualized because you fit in the curriculum to the existing society, to the existing interests and needs of society and the learners. Humanistic situation because you focus on your learner. That's your emphasis, okay, under progressivism. Reconstructionism, there is equality of education opportunities and education and access to global education. Okay, so I'd like to emphasize the last two words, global education. Because we are presenting social issues, okay, everything about the society, social problems, okay, social topics, existing social topics, okay, nasusolusyonan na pwedeng i-innovate, pwedeng i-modify, okay. That's why we emphasize global education under Reconstructionism. Okay? Global education because it's about the society. So dapat pag teacher ka, na ang sinusunod mo ay Reconstructionism, if you adhere to the principles of Reconstructionism, dapat updated ka lagi sa mga pangyayari sa kapaligiran. Okay? Dahil pag hindi ka updated sa mga bagay-bagay na nangyayari sa kapaligiran, okay, in the globe, not only in the Philippines, everything about the globe, about the world, if you are not updated, you cannot impose or give activities that relate to Reconstructionism. So if you are a Reconstructionist, if you follow this view, you should be socially aware of news, of the updates, of the innovation and trends in education, not only in education, but in all aspects of life. Okay, last, we are going to have some touch on the other perspectives of curriculum. And these perspectives are historical, psychological, and social. So we could view curriculum historically, we could view curriculum psychologically, we could view it socially. So how do we view curriculum historically? Pag ganyan, if you will use the history as your basis, ang gagawin mo is that you rely on these experts, these authorities in the past, okay, and review about their suggestions, about their principles. And then that's what you are going to apply, okay? So that's your perspective. What you are using, okay, is the historical perspective. Kapag ginagamit mo yung mga idea, okay, nire-review mo yung mga idea before, relating it to the present time, to your curriculum at present time, you are using the historical perspective. Kailan mo naman ginagamit? When are you using the psychological perspective? If you are assessing your learners based on the different theories about learning. Okay, like law of readiness, okay, the social theory introduced by Lev Vygotsky, scaffolding, okay, the more knowledgeable other, okay, classical conditioning, John Piaget's stages of cognitive development. Pag yan yung mga kinoconsider mo when devising your curriculum, you are viewing curriculum psychologically. Okay? Na nag-decision ka na itigil mo na yung activity kasi hindi pa nila kaya at nakalimutan mo na yung pala binanggit. You did not mention about the activity na papagawa mo ngayon, tapos iba pala yung nabanggit kahapon. You ask the learner, ito pala yung gagawin nila. Ititigil mo kasi yun yung binanggit mo na gagawin today. Okay? Law of readiness. Okay? So you are viewing now curriculum psychologically. What about for social perspective? Of course, okay, you base it on the existing social needs and interests. So that's what we mean by viewing curriculum based on the social aspect. Like, eto ang curriculum, tinitingnan mo yung society ngayon, ano ba ang kailangan sa society ngayon? Ano ba yung existing ngayon? Ano ba yung meron sa society at present? So you are using the perspective, the social perspective in developing your curriculum. So lesson here is that we can view curriculum using different lenses, okay? Through different lenses. We can view curriculum through different aspects and perspectives. But then again, all of this, okay, all of these perspectives work together in order for you to come up with a very good plan. At pag sinabi natin good plan, okay, good curriculum plan, good curriculum design, it's a design that is not only effective but also efficient. Okay? It's effective in a way that it creates an effect, an impact to your learners, to the society. It becomes efficient because it's usable. It's something relevant at the present time. Okay? It's something that is contributing to social development, human development. Okay, so again, these are the other perspectives on curriculum development. So we shall now move to the next part of our session, which is stated on your screen.